This video is going to provide an overview of the enhancements to the Drupal Maestro module version 2.1 release. My name is Blaine Lang from Nextide, and we are the developers of the Maestro Business Workflow module. We recognize that it was often difficult to understand the business reasons or use case for Maestro. What does Maestro provide when we have Workflows module in core Drupal 8 now? Maestro is best described as a solution to automate a business or collaboration process that requires multiple people and roles. If it can be flowcharted, then it can be automated with Maestro. This is not just a clever saying, it's true. With Maestro, the method to automate a process starts with a visual editor with its drag and drop interface. Support for multiple tasks allow you to create workflows that include the movement of documents or forms for editing and review approval. A number of condition checks, if-type tasks, can be incorporated through simple configuration without any coding. Complex business processes, which include parallel approvals and serial grouping of tasks with dynamic routing, can be modeled. The workflows have a very flexible set of options to assign tasks to users. There's no limit to the number of forms, documents, tasks, or users participating in a workflow. Workflows can be very complex or very simple and include integration with external applications. Although Maestro can be used with very complex business processes, it can also be used with very simple things like an expense workflow. Any process that involves more than one person with some content that needs to be reviewed or some database needs to be updated, Maestro is a good solution. In order to better explain Maestro, we created a demo site of a fictitious insurance company called Maestro Insurance that wanted to implement an online quote submission, review, and approval process. This is an example business process involving forms that need to be reviewed, possibly updated if missing details, routed to different staff within a company, and finally, if approved, create a policy and notify the client. We've made the site public at www.maestroinsurance.ca. On the site, there is a video explaining the use case and demonstrating the workflow and complete business process. There is a second video that provides details on the Maestro workflow configuration. And there are login details, so you can try out the demo yourself. So what's new in version 2.1? Well, there's been lots of refinements and fixes in this version, but I want to hit on a few of the major enhancements. First of all, we've created extensive new documentation that provides a great introduction to Maestro, as well as the different task types and an introduction to the API. We added a new task type, the Webform task type. Webform task type is used to create and or route Webform content for review or edit. The Drupal 8 version of the Webform module was created by Jacob Rockowitz, and it's a very powerful form builder and submission manager for Drupal 8. There are two options available to integrate Webform in a Maestro workflow. You can launch a workflow from a Webform, or have a task in the workflow that shows the web form to a user as an interactive task. You can use multiple web form task types in the same workflow to either create new web form submissions or to edit, review existing web form submissions that are being tracked by the workflow process. The task console now provides access to details of this workflow process. Clicking on it, the user can see where they are in this workflow, additional details about what content entities are being attached, as well as the completed task. This is all configurable now at the template level. The task console allows us to define that we want this template or this process to actually include details, and then attach whatever views you want to it. Each stage is now configurable inside the editor. We provide a little icon indicating in the workflow editor which stages or which tasks are participating in the workflow stages. There's also an API available so we can programmatically control the timeline display as well as the messages that are displayed in the task details to the user. We've added new options to the content type task. Now you have the option of a task presenting an edit link to edit the content as well as just a view of the content. You can also enable both accept and reject buttons when the user is using this interactive task. Enabling this option allows you now to branch after this task depending on which button was clicked. Task notifications have been enhanced to support tokens, and we've provided a number of tokens so you can easily customize your assignment, reminder, and escalation notifications. A new Maestro Toolbar was added, so you can easily access all of the Maestro admin options. The views like outstanding tasks were cleaned up. We added a new view called Workflow History, which gives you access to all of the completed workflows. Expanding the details will show you the timeline and stages, access to the content that's attached to the workflow. If the template does not have the option enabled for the timeline, then it will not be displayed. Additionally, if you don't have details enabled for the template, they also will not be displayed. That concludes our video overview of the new features in Maestro 2.1 release. Additional resources are available on our website, www.nextide.ca. Thank you.